Let me describe what most of you have been doing, because I've been watching it for years and I've lived it too. You learn AI. You build a portfolio, a new feature drops, now your portfolio looks outdated, so you learn again. You rebuild, another feature drops, and you repeat. It feels productive because you're busy and you can always point at something and say, look, I'm working, but your calendar is still empty and Stripe is still flat. That loop is the trap. And the AI education industry is designed to keep you in it, because if you keep learning, you keep buying. If you keep buying, you keep watching. If you keep watching, you never have to face the only thing that matters, which is the market. The market does not care how many tools you know. The market does not care how clean your workflow is. The market only cares if you can create a result they value enough to pay for. And if you can get that offer in front of them consistently, that's it. Everything else is noise. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your AI skill stack is getting cheaper every month, not because you're getting worse, because the tools are turning your skills into buttons. Think about 3 months ago. People were saying N8N is the best skill. Learn automations, learn modules, learn how to connect everything. Now what happens? You type what you want, and the tool connects modules for you in 1 minute. No tutorial, no setup, no special skill. And it's going to accelerate. So if your entire business plan is be the person who knows the tool, you are building on sand. That's why a lot of AI builders are stressed right now. They can feel it. They're running fast, but the floor is moving. The problem is not that you are slow. The problem is you are investing your identity into something that is collapsing into commodity. And I'm not saying don't learn. Learning is good. Skill is good. But skill without a business engine is just a hobby that makes you feel smart. You need fundamentals that survive tool updates. You need fundamentals that will still work, even if your favorite tool gets replaced tomorrow. What you actually need, fundamentals that work in any tool era. So what should you do? You stop building your identity around tools, and you start building fundamentals that survive the tool era. Not theory, not motivation. Fundamentals you can use immediately. Here are the fundamentals that do not expire. You pick a real market, you pick a real pain, you create a clear offer, you get distribution, and you run experiments until the market says yes. That's it. Once you understand that, you stop being an AI learner and you become a business scientist. A business scientist does not guess. A business scientist runs tests. You form a hypothesis, you run an experiment, you make a decision, then you repeat. That is business. Everything else is decoration. The reason this matters is because the tool era rewards people who can move through uncertainty without losing their mind. The winner is not the person who memorizes the newest feature. The winner is the person who can repeatedly create results, repeatedly communicate value, repeatedly build a pipeline, and repeatedly make decisions based on reality. When you become that person, it doesn't matter what tool is popular. You are the engine. Tools become accessories. Why I built Execution Squad. Let me give you context so you know where this is coming from. I'm Chris. I built a 40,000 subscriber YouTube channel. We built a community with 1,400 plus members. We hit 58,000 MRR. I also taught inside big companies in real rooms with real standards, including teams like Samsung and LG designers. So I'm not saying this as a guy who just discovered AI last month. I've been inside this world. And I'm going to tell you something personal because it explains why I care so much about this. I'm traditional. I believe a man should be able to support his family financially. That's my philosophy. And here's what I saw over and over. I attracted hustlers, ambitious people, smart people, people who could talk about tools all day, but so many of them could not support their family. Not because they were lazy, because they were hiding inside learning, hiding inside one more course, one more template, one more workflow, one more portfolio project. They were scared to fail in public. They were scared to expose their results. So they stayed in the safe zone. Learning feels safe. Execution is not safe. Execution puts your ego on the table. Execution forces you to hear no. Execution forces you to confront the fact that the market does not owe you anything. And that's the moment I realized something. People were learning, but they were not executing. So I shut the old model down. Execution Squad is the replacement, not a course library, a business lab for endless AI learners who are done playing the learning game and ready to become people who can actually produce outcomes. Let's talk about why AI learners stay stuck. Problem 1, most people think they'll earn money because they're learning AI, and the industry is built to sell you that dream. A lot of AI gurus show lifestyle, and it looks like the money comes from AI automation services. But in many cases, the money is coming from selling education. So when you copy them, you copy the wrong business. You start thinking your job is to learn more. No, your job is to sell something real to someone real, and to do it in a way that can repeat. Problem 2, most people treat business like a hobby. They work 2 or 3 hours a day, and then they say, I have a full-time job. So what? I had a job too. When I was building my previous startup, I worked 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. I slept 5 hours. And the other hours I learned and built and sold every single day. I'm not saying that to disrespect anyone's life situation. I'm saying it because excuses do not create results. Effort is not special. Everybody is trying. What matters is what your effort produces. Let me give you a simple story. Someone looks at an artist and says, "You drew that in 10 minutes. Why is it so expensive?" And the artist says, "You're not paying for the 10 minutes. You're paying for the decades it took to make the 10 minutes possible." That's how reality works. If you want outcomes, you pay with time, reps, and exposure. Problem 3. People think hard work automatically wins. But if you cannot measure what you're doing and improve it, you are pouring water into a broken bucket. You can try as hard as you want. If the system is broken, your effort leaks out. Business is not magic. It's repeating one loop until you earn clarity. Hypothesis, experiment, decision, next hypothesis. That's it. If you can do that loop without lying to yourself, you will win in any era. Now here's the roadmap, and I'm saying this carefully. This is not my opinion. This is how reality works in 2026. Outbound first, then content, then ads. Why? Because you need customer truth first. You need to hear what they say, what they ignore, what they care about, what they pay for, what they already tried, what they're scared of. That does not come from your imagination. If you build a solution based on what you want, you will fail. Outbound forces you to touch the market. It is the fastest truth machine. Content is powerful, but content without truth is just entertainment. Ads are powerful, but ads without truth is just burning money. So the order is simple. You use outbound to earn proof. You use content to multiply trust. You use ads to scale what already works. Same engine, bigger fuel. The mistake people make is they want the later stage leverage without the early stage proof. They want YouTube attention without having anything proven. They want ads without having an offer that converts. And then when it fails, they blame the tool or the platform or the economy. The order was wrong. Let's make this real. If you are not at $5,000 a month yet, your job is not branding. Your job is proof. Conversations, calls, cash. Because once you have proof, everything becomes easier. You stop guessing. You stop spiraling. You stop asking, is this niche good? Because you already know. The market told you. This phase is not glamorous. It's not aesthetic. It's not build a beautiful website and wait. It's the fastest path to reality. And reality is the only thing that pays you. And I want you to understand why this phase matters beyond money. This phase builds your nervous system. This phase trains you to handle rejection without making it personal. This phase trains you to talk to real humans. This phase teaches you what people actually mean when they say, "I'm interested," and what they mean when they say, "Send me more info." This phase shows you what objections are real and what objections are polite excuses. You cannot learn that from a course. You can only learn it by doing it. So if you're early, I don't want you daydreaming about scaling. I want you collecting proof. Once outbound works, now you earn the right to stack leverage. This is where YouTube comes in, not as a hobby, not as a personal brand fantasy, as a trust multiplier. Outbound gives you fast truth. YouTube makes that truth compound. Now, when you do outbound, you're not a random person. People can see your thinking. They can see your standards. They can see you execute. And something changes. Instead of trying to convince cold strangers, you start warming the market at scale. The right people start recognizing you. They start watching your content before they talk to you. They start coming into the conversation with trust already partially built. And that changes your conversion rate. It changes your pricing power. It changes your confidence. And it changes your ability to build a real brand. But YouTube only works like that when it's connected to a proven engine. Otherwise, you're just posting into the void and calling it building. Then ads. Ads are gasoline. If your offer is not proven, ads just help you lose money faster. Ads do not fix your business. Ads amplify your business. So you earn the right to do ads when the foundation is proven. And when you do, ads become predictable. Because now you know what message works, you know what offer converts, you know the objections, you know the audience, you know the angles. Ads stop being gambling and start being mass. That's the goal. Same engine, bigger fuel. Now I'm going to make this simpler for you because some of you are sitting there thinking, okay, but what do I sell? If you're starting from zero, the easiest business to start in 2026 is lead gen. And I need to clarify what I mean because some of you immediately think voice AI agent, chatbot, some gimmicky automation offer. I mean real lead gen. Every business has the same problem. They need leads, they need conversations, they need people to show up. Lead gen means you use outreach, content, and ads to bring leads to the front of their mouth. You deliver booked calls. You deliver the chance for them to sell. That is the clearest value. That is the most controllable part. And if you have nothing, start there, because distribution is the one thing you can control early that produces immediate signal. Here is the simple filter I want you to use. Before you commit to any offer, you answer 4 questions. Which system will you use? How will you deliver? How will you track? How will you decide? If you cannot answer those 4, you do not have a business plan. You have hope. And hope is not a strategy. Now, let me say why this lane is the easiest. And I mean easiest in the sense of most direct path to truth. Because you can control who you contact, how many you contact, what message you send, and what offer you present. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control their mood. You cannot control their competitors, but you can control distribution. That's why this lane is the easiest. Not because it's effortless, because it's direct. Now, before you pick anything, stop and check yourself. Ask this honestly. Is this a niche I actually understand? Do I know how they make money? Do I know what they complain about? Do I know what they already tried? Do I know what they are scared of? Do I know what success looks like to them? If the answer is yes, great. You're going to move faster because you already have context. If the answer is no, you can still choose it, but don't lie to yourself. You are choosing to start from the bottom. You will need more data touch points, more rejections, more reps. That's fine. Just own it. The problem is not starting from the bottom. The problem is pretending you're not. Pick one niche, pick one pain, run the flywheel. Hypothesis, experiment, decision. And if you want the feedback, bring your choice to the next call. We will pressure test it with you, not to judge you, to save you months of guessing. One more thing, and this is a bonus. We built a niche map with 100 plus real pain points you can actually sell. This is not a lottery ticket. It's a weapon. It speeds up hypothesis selection. It does not remove responsibility. You still have to choose. You still have to run the reps, but it makes you faster and it protects you from picking a fantasy niche that has no urgency and no budget. That's it. Bonus, not the main game. Now let's talk about the real reason people fail, because I want to cut through the fake reasons. People fail because they chase someone else's dream. They copy the same tired hypothesis they heard online. I help dentists with missed calls. Stop. I swear I've heard that hypothesis 50 times this week. And then people ask, what is the best niche in 2026? That question is a trap, because it's just you trying to outsource responsibility. If I hand you a niche right now, will you actually do the reps? Will you actually talk to customers? Will you actually face rejection? Because your business is not my business. You and I are different people. No guru can tell you this is the right answer. The only place the answer exists is the market. So you have to ask customers. You have to run experiments. You have to earn your own truth. That's business. And once you accept that, you stop being a consumer and you become a builder. So what is Execution Squad? It's not learn prompts. It's a business lab. You bring your skills and we turn them into a clear hypothesis, a real experiment plan, execution accountability, and decisions based on numbers, not emotions. The value is not information. The value is correction. The value is speed. The value is not letting you lie to yourself, because most people do not need more content. They need a container that forces them to do the work, face the market, and adjust without spiraling. Inside Elite, you get weekly one-on-one coaching. You get personal hypothesis review. You get 30-day experiment audits. You get unlimited voice Q&A. You get YouTube content review. You get templates. You get sales scripts and objection handling. The point is simple. Less guessing, more signal, more wins. And we back it with a guarantee, the 10,000 in 90 days action guarantee. Do the work, follow the system, track what you do. If you complete the required actions and still don't hit $10,000 in 90 days, you get a full refund. The risk is on us. The work is on you. That's the deal. And I'm comfortable making that deal because when people actually execute consistently, the market always reveals a path. One last thing. Execution Squad is online first, but my real dream is bigger. I want the world's best business community, real rooms, real people, real conversations. Vancouver, New York, more cities. We meet, we execute, we eat together, we connect like humans. Because the internet is loud and most people are performing. Real builders move quietly, ship, and let results speak. I want a community where that is the culture. Not hype, not theory, execution. Let me land this. If you have more AI skills than clients, you do not need another tutorial. You need a system that forces reality. Stop learning tools. Start building a business that pays you. Pick one niche, pick one pain, run one experiment. If you want to do it inside the lab with real feedback, join Execution Squad. If you want faster correction and higher signal, choose Elite. And either way, bring your hypothesis to the next call. We'll pressure test it with you and make sure you're not wasting months on a fantasy. All right, thank you for being here. Let's execute.